Good evening, Lean In Women in Business. I'm so glad you decided to lean in to this meeting. It's such a great investment in developing yourself and your leadership. As someone who often starts my day at 2 a.m. for work, I feel like we're both in the evening of the day, so we should be in sync. And I really appreciate you staying up late. This, to me, it just shows your dedication. So I'm going to ask you, if you find that I'm speaking a little too fast for you, if you could just wave at me. I think I'll be able to see at least a few people, but I'm going to just remind myself to slow down, because I tend to speak a little quicker when I'm excited. So I'm Linda Brandt. I am overjoyed to be here because when I started Lean In together, Minneapolis, St. Paul in Minnesota, United States, in 2013, my goal was to build a community of peers around myself. It was something I felt like I wanted more community, particularly ambitious peers. So I've done that. My network started with just 12 people. Now it's more than 6,000 members. And to be invited here it touches me. I honestly, not kidding, I could cry. It means a lot to me. So I'm honored to be here, and my dream of pulling ambitious leaders and peers around me together is continuing today. So I'm excited about that. So what I want for you is to get what you came for today. So don't worry, however big that wish is, because I do have a magic wand here, so we can make whatever you're hoping for happen. So to give you a brief overview of my own Lean In journey, I'm going to, from a public health worker who grew up poor to a person running a global Lean In network. So I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. So once upon a time, there was a woman who grew up in a daycare home. So my mom had a home daycare, and she led a successful women's support group for 6 years. Every day, she saw ways that women could make the world better if they acted powerfully, supported each other, and took on more leadership. Until one day, she read Sheryl Sandberg's commencement speech at Barnard College for Women, telling women, "Don't leave before you leave," which she understood to mean, don't settle by lowering your expectations. Because of reading that speech, she invited 12 friends and coworkers she admired to a Lean In circle in her living room. Because of that, the network grew to over 6,000 members with lots of circles, work groups, a blog, a conference, regular events, a directory, and a strategic planning process. So because of that, she started to share what she was learning with the global Lean In leaders, until finally she recognized her unique calling as a renegade community builder and wants this same personal and professional growth for everyone. So if it isn't obvious, that person is me. So when I say put on your superhero cape, I mean, Lean In is about challenging yourself. So based on those 9 years of Lean In leadership, what are you likely to gain from being part of a Lean In circle? Why should you invest your time in this beyond tonight? I think you're likely to gain a circle of supporters who inspire you and expand what you see as possible for yourself. So a very quick story about a few months into starting my Lean In circle, this whirlwind of activity happened that I had put out into the world, that I was growing my sense of home. So soon, Sheryl Sandberg was coming to my house. It was this very, very strange thing. It was a big deal. Lots of things happened. I have lots of stories about it. But after that whole thing happened, my friend Yolanda from the Y, from the gym I go to, said, Linda, I see you in Cheryl's living room. And I said, no, that's never going to happen. She just came to my house to look like a normal person and to support our circle based on my dream. And then the following summer, there I was in Cheryl's living room. So you want people around you who can see something that you can't see yourself. So those supporters you gather in a group like this can change your life. I have many stories where that continued to happen since that early experience. So a second thing that you would gain from being part of a Lean In circle is a group that holds you accountable. So a group that wants you to have your big ambitions and will help you make it happen. This means a group like our local peer coaching circles that happen for 8 months, 2 hours once a month for 8 months. So groups like that really listen to what you say and say, oh yeah, how's it going? You know, I heard you say this, things like that. So support, accountability. Also, Lean In is a great place to develop your skills, to practice leaning in. So our Lean In network hosts events. Used to be quarterly, now they've talked me into every other month. And we give people chances to facilitate, to lead parts of the meeting, to do presentations, which you always record so that people are seen by a wider audience. So the opportunity to lead is another thing that these groups can provide. So Lean In's mission is to unleash power. So there's a lot of untapped potential, human potential in the world because of gender inequality. Both men and women are held back. So knowing what you want and getting support to make it happen is central to Lean In and why everyone needs a circle of support. So if you haven't yet asked yourself this kind of classic Lean In question, what would I do if I weren't afraid? I hope you'll consider asking yourself today, even though it's late at night. And if you're brave, you might even put into the chat box, if I weren't afraid, I would go for my dream job, let people help me, say yes to this woman who offered me help today. All right. Consider putting something in the box if you're ready. By being here today, you are part of a global Lean In movement. So Lean In, if you haven't got the sense so far, means going outside your comfort zone into your stretch zone. So for me, the leaders of Lean In China, who I met at one of the first regional leaders conferences in California, they are like the redwood trees you see here. These are really big trees on the west coast of the United States. And these women have risked being put in jail for their Lean In activities. So most of us don't have to take that kind of risk in order to organize for Lean In. But I'm inspired to know that these women and others are willing to go to that length on behalf of others. Our group is called Lean In Together because we know that collectively, if we move forward, everyone moves forward, especially if we're thinking about everybody. So I'm all about that. Lean In together. What's mine is yours. I'm eager to connect with you and others. I'm eager to connect you with other people in the global Lean In movements that I've met over the last 9 years and to support you in your ambitions. So you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me both. I really appreciate your listening. I hope I gave you some sense of what my journey has been like and what it's taught me. And you can put any feedback you have in the chat about whether this talk was useful or not. And also what questions you have. So I'm eager to help in any way I can. And I know that this is a really amazing group and I'm happy to support it in any way I can.